Greetings, and welcome back to the MCOC Encyclopedia. Little bit of a change, we're going back into war. So, we'll be starting off today on Path 9 with Sasquatch and Nick Fury, before moving on to Path 7 later on and taking a mini-boss on every single one of the 3 islands, though I don't get anything on the main island today. This Sasquatch is a really nasty placement, particularly when I can't bring Wasp in for the unblockable specials. He's got Hazard Shift, Incinerate and Poison to deal with, and also half specials. So if he were to throw any specials, they would only cost half as much. Oh, but it's over. This fight is really tricky, but Ghost doesn't care. The fight basically ends before it even starts. Up next, we have Nick Fury on 192. Again, we've got Incinerate and Poison Hazard Shift to deal with, but also every time he gets to his special, I get to my special one, he will go indestructible. There's also another node, but I can't remember what it is. So to begin with, I'm not hugely concerned about saving my charges, because this Nick Fury will be putting Incinerates on me from the Hazard Shift node. Every time we get Incinerate on us, our charges go back up again, so that's good. We did pick up an extra poison, which is a bit annoying, and I am rapidly losing the health race here. I am running the recall masteries, which is something I don't normally do in war if I'm not using Ghost or Magneto. And that's concerning me slightly. We are losing the health race, though with that nice perfect block on Nick Fury's Special 1, we actually managed to reduce all of the damage down to 0. I'm just waiting out the poison phase, and I know I've got a big Special 2 ready to go as soon as that disappears. In the waiting phase, it's all about space. When I'm not in the waiting phase, it's all about damage. Did you see that was an 8k crit off that last hit? Mind-blowing damage there. So we're just going to push him down a bit. Again, we're in Incinerate phase, not concerned about my charges. We can parry the Special 1 to take no damage from it at all. We're back in the Poison phase. We wait. We've just got to stay calm, and it's all about maintaining space. It is so easy to get cornered. But the fight's over. Ooh, that was a nearly 9k non-crit on the last hit of that. Very good damage by Sunspot. Jokes aside though, he did very well for that fight. Lost a little more health than I would have liked, but we're not using him again, so it won't cost me any potions. And I'm running recalls, which I don't normally do with Sunspot, so, by the by. We're now moving over to Path 7 in Section 2. Well, first up we've got this Darkhawk, and then we've got ourselves a nice Rank 3 Korg to deal with. Here we have Darkhawk, but we're going to be using Magneto. So there isn't a huge amount to worry about here. Yes, he's tactic. Yes, he has protection. Yes, he has auto block. Yes, he has miss. Yes, he has regeneration. But parry heavy with Magneto counters every single one of the things I just listed. That was my like spike, not yours, because I'm playing on an absolute brick. But it's not a big deal. So we're just looking for a parry. Didn't get it. Go for another one. Come on, Darkhawk. There we go. Knock him down. Remove the protection. So sort of no big deal there. He can't evade while he's stunned, so we don't have to worry about that half of the tactic. And you can't auto-block Magneto when he's got his magnetism up, so we don't have to worry about that half of the tactic. So I'm just going to get to Special 3, and he's going to die. It is that simple. We heavy counter his Special 2 because magnetism also prevents miss, so whilst he could have evaded out of it, the odds weren't high. We're just going to go for one more double there, so we've got 39 prowess. I'll speed up the Special 3 for you. And he got exploded for how much was that? 1.16 million Special 3. There is nothing on the war map that would survive that. Just double checking our boosts, that we're still good to go. And so we're moving on to this Rank 3 Korg. I didn't actually check what SIG he was, I probably should have done. So we're going to stick on a combat regen boost just to help keep our Ghost topped up a little bit. We are going to take a little bit of chip damage in this fight. It's Korg, it's his thorns, block damage and so on. But this fight starts off horribly. I sort of whiff my first phase, and that phase just fails. But we get some really cheeky light intercepts going, and that is his first rock shield. Nope, not quite down. We've got to deal with a Special 1. Going for a really cheeky light tap. Nope, we go for the medium intercept, take a whole bunch of damage. And this fight is not going as well as I want it to. Then we dex into the first hit at that, and because we don't have the unblockability from Wasp, this fight's not going as cleanly as it could. But we'll make up for it. Why? Because we're playing Ghost. Going for some very fast light intercept ricochets here. If you light intercept Korg, he loses 2 charges in one go. So that's what I'm going for here. phase or dexing away from his special 1, so we're not hugely concerned to get the phase back up. But it was a bit weird on the timing, so I just opted to take a bit more damage. He's got no charges now, so I know that he can't go unstoppable, and we get a big special 2 in anyway. So that was 45, 45, 60k for about 150k, so let's just do that again. And by about 0.2 seconds, we managed to get the last hit of that special 2 in, before he gets back his rock shield, which is excellent. So, we're going to heal up our ghost because we've still got one more fight with her. We've got 2 mags fights left and 1 ghost fight. Up next, we've got that future Antman just there. So, this is the Power Sting something else node. I think I do check the nodes so we can actually double check what's going on. But we'll be using mags in this fight. Antman is metal, so we haven't got a huge amount to worry about. But there are a few things we've got to be careful about. Oh, it's the buffet node. That's what's going to happen. So, I'm actually going to pause the fight here and double check the notes. We've got Power Snack, 1 too many hits, and Prowess Build-Up, unblockable. Prowess Build-Up we don't have to worry about. He's not going to gain Prowess by any shape or form, so that's not an important node here. Power Snack is like Buffet, but rather than healing, they'll gain a chunk of power, which most of the time is actually more punishing. Chunks of power can push them to special 3. That was my lag spike, not yours, so I chose to not throw a heavy attack. Don't want to risk it. So every time I dex, every time I charge my heavy, that prowess, the unstoppable, he has a chance to eat those buffs and convert them into power. And as I was saying, power is much worse than regen. Not only because magnetism shuts down regen, but regen we will outdamage with our special 3, no questions about it. But power can push him to his special 3, which is much more dangerous. I'm opting to just block all of his specials because realistically, mags and his massively high perfect block chance just means I'm not worried at all. So there we go, we're just going to charge heavy. I start charging heavies a little bit early here, and you'll see why that's an issue in the moment. But Power Snack is actually eating some of them, so we're up to 41 now. And if I just had a smidge more power, I could have thrown it there. But this is war, and I don't want to risk anything. So Dex out of that nicely. We're actually getting a little bit of healing off the Power Sting, so we'll wait for the Power Sting to go. And we're just going to build up our prowess again. There, Power Snack ate them, so we're going to go again. So we're up to 26, just charge it into the S. We're at 43, plenty. Going to speed up special 3 again, and he's gone. No issues about that one at all. That was only a 320k special 3. Why was that damage so much lower than the previous one? Well, future Antman isn't bleed immune, which means we don't get any armor breaks. Got to make sure we go to the right node. No armor breaks means we would have had a massive stack of bleeds coming out of that, which would have dealt themselves 600, 700,000 total damage. Magneto special 3 damage is about the same, regardless of bleed immunity or not. It just depends how quickly you get that damage. Here we have Power Focus 2, Scared Stiff, Bubble Shield, Guardian. What does all of that mean? It means I need to check my boosts, and we're going to grab an invul boost here, just in case. Why am I using an invul boost here? Well, the next fight I've got is a Mystic. Mystic Dispersion means much more likely to go to special 3, more likely to go to special 3. I want an invul boost. So, the nodes here. Firstly, Power Focus 2. You can see that when I Heavy Guardian, he gains a huge amount of power. That's about half a bar of power off every Heavy. However, that only happens up to 2 bars of power. So we get increased power up to 2, but decreased power below 2 bars. Sorry, above 2 bars. Up to 2 bars, it's lower, above 2 bars. I'm going to get this right once. Below 2 bars of power, he gains much more power. Above 2 bars of power, he gains less. And this is why we use indestructible boosts. Quite lucky that that special 2 didn't do a huge amount of damage. My only death last season was to a Guardian. Not really something I want to repeat. Scared Stiff means if we don't hit him often enough that timer going round, will root us like that. But luckily we can throw a special and get out of it. And there we go, 40 prowess into special 3. Guardian does have a load of bleed resistance off his signature ability, but luckily this is a 7-star Guardian, so his signature is probably a bit lower. I'm going to estimate about 40 to 80, but the bleeds are still more than enough to tick him down, and are huge heavy attacks as well. It was still a pretty chunky special 3 as well. Finally, we have the fight that I potentially hate taking the most. I really dislike ghosting Werewolf, because his AI is weird as all hell. And I don't have Wasp. Luckily for me, well, I say luckily, I did about 50 duels beforehand, just to make sure I wasn't going to die against this guy. So firstly, he's got double mediums, which is just something we've got to worry about. There, he wasn't going to dash in. There, if I'd hit him, he would have parried me. I guarantee you 100% he would have parried me. However, when you can slap down 230k special 2s, back-to-back, when he doesn't block them, the fight suddenly doesn't become quite so bad. There's an 18k medium and a 44k medium to boot. There. If he had thrown that special 2 with 3 prowess, that would have been game over for us without question. That would have absolutely nuked us massively. So, there's my war fights for this war. 7-fight war is a big one for me, and checking the MVP screen, we actually pick up second, which I'm quite proud about. I don't often get war MVP, and 7 fights is the biggest war I've had in quite some time, so I thought I would share it. Our second place comes to first place MVP's Cantonas, but, I mean, he's alright, if we just look at the scoreboard for Battlegrounds, it's fine, I suppose. I have many things in the works, including the promised Hulkbuster showcase, but before that, we've got something to do with Angela, which is ridiculous. If you have any questions, please do leave them down below, or consider joining the Discord server. A great place to get specific advice, make suggestions for future video topics, and while I'm awake, I do my best to be there as much as possible. Thank you, and I will see you next time.